Thank you, guys. So, I don't know if you know, Bruce Fettman is an OG, the guy who was just up here. So if you guys had a chance to see him speak, he's a legit guy. He's been in the space for a very long time. And we share a lot of the same, I would say, passion for the purpose for why this all began in the beginning. So if you go back in human history, it all started with a coin. Just a simple coin that we used to transact with each other. It seems simple enough, right? And over time, the means by which we transacted with each other evolved. And you fast forward all the way to Bitcoin and you think, well, why did we create Bitcoin in the beginning? Or why did Satoshi create it? What was the ethos and philosophy behind it? And it really comes down to that commitment to create a more democratic financial system. And so when we created Raiinmaker, actually in the beginning it was just called Coin in 2018, we were committed to that same philosophy. How could we better understand the value that each human represents in the digital world? And better understand, most importantly, what's the value of our interactions with each other? What's the value that we represent inherently as humans in the digital world? So we sought to answer that question from a variety of different angles. And over time, we ended up realizing that with the convergence of AI and Web3, that there was a whole new reality that was unfolding that we needed to better dig into and develop technology to address. So from our roots in 2018, we developed the Raiinmaker Network Protocol. So Raiinmaker Network Protocol focuses on the individual user and puts them at the center of the architecture. So their unique identity, behavior, and reputation plugged into AI-powered smart contracts so we can actually calculate what is the value that each of us is contributing to AI. Right now, AI is racing ahead. All of our data is being hoovered into all these models that are powering the economy of the future, yet we get nothing for that. So coming back to, again, what is that inherent value that each of us represents in the digital world? We sought with the Raiinmaker Network Protocol to properly calculate what is the value that we contribute with our data to training AI. So if you look at the state of crypto and AI, it's actually quite an interesting landscape. There's a lot of amazing projects out there. There's IONET, Render. My friend Trevor has a cool project called Sapiens. There's Morpheus, which is an amazing decentralized AI project. There's all this amazing innovation that's happening that's experimenting on how do we really, again, build a more distributed, decentralized version of AI technology. At the same time, we've got the meme economy just racing forward, which is fun, and a lot of people will slam it. You don't slam it when you make money at it, but you're gonna slam it when you get rugged. But ultimately, what's funny is that there's something democratic about humans coming together and deciding what's valuable. And so in that sense, I'm actually a fan of what's going on with memes. But when you juxtapose that against AI technology, it's pretty radical. So for us, we sought, essentially with the Raiinmaker Network Protocol, to build a network that would be able to track and quantify the value that each human is contributing to AI. So the network has decentralized digital identity built into it, NFT creation, tokens, all of that is native to the network. But the main focus is on mass adoption use cases, so sports, gaming, entertainment. Other features of the network, so basically anyone can run a DPIN validator node from a smartphone or a laptop or desktop computer. So that means literally anyone on the planet can participate in the Raiinmaker network, be a validator, and earn crypto for helping to secure basically a more distributed version of AI technology. The first application running on the network is the Raiinmaker AI Super App. So in the app, users are actually able to train AI models, stable diffusion models, through data labeling. They're also able to run a DPIN validator node right from their smartphone device. So again, everyone on the planet has a smartphone in their hand, which means that anyone can actually be a part of the Raiinmaker network and can help to train a more decentralized AI future. So as you can see in the product demo there, Users actually go in, they generate AI art, they label that art, and then those data labels are actually used to fine-tune the stable diffusion models that the community is using to generate art on the network. Also running, again, on the smartphone device is a DPIN validator node. So that's literally, on a smartphone, the ability to run parallelized, decentralized AI computation on millions of smartphones across the planet. Right now, we've got already 150,000 plus validator nodes live on the network. Also on desktop, that's actually where users are getting a lot deeper into being able to burn, stake, and participate in all different kinds of ways in the network. So coin.ai is where people are downloading and signing up for desktop validator nodes. So what's next with Raiinmaker? We've got 150,000 nodes running in testnet. We actually launched last August at ETH Toronto. And coming up, we've got mainnet launching next month, along with the TGE of our native token coin. So coming back full circle to where we started, just a coin. Coin with two eyes, the two eyes representing the economic value of our peer-to-peer connection. Also coming, we've got enterprise applications building on the network. So major professional sports teams in NFL, MLB, NBA, currently developing applications on the network that we'll be announcing in the next few months. The big thing we're focused on, again, is how can we empower scalable application of decentralized AI and Web3 technology in a way that is actually user-friendly. So in a way that actual, real, non-crypto native users can actually use the technology. So everything we built from the ground up is engineered to have a Web 2-like user experience. So there's no seed phrase, there's no needing to understand how to create wallets. All of that is abstracted away. So for the individual user, imagine you're a sports fan. You're a fan of the Denver Broncos, you're a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. You're able to participate in a product that allows you to leverage Web3 and decentralized AI, but for you, you're just experiencing a normal user experience. Also coming down the roadmap is that full decentralized compute across the network. So we've got first versions of the DPIN nodes running now, but the next versions will have the ability to do full decentralized computation across all mobile, laptop, desktop devices on the network. So for me, the most important thing right now is, why are we doing this? Coming back to what we originally started with Bitcoin. Why are we doing all this? We're standing in this conference where there's all these companies, all this explosion of innovation. But is it just about making money? Is it about making ourselves rich? Is that all we care about? Or is there something bigger? And for me, I would argue that the most important thing right now is that we find a way to use these technologies to empower humanity. Right now, we're at a critical moment as a species. We have a finite window of time to make an evolutionary leap before things get really bad. So what excites me is, how can we use AI and Web3 technologies on a global scale in a distributed manner to empower humanity? There's half the planet that is literally living in hell on earth that is just waiting for us to show up to actually give them the tools to be financially empowered to solve their own problems, to actually make a difference in the world. So how do we actually rise up to meet that challenge? And for us, everything that we've built, everything that we've created with Raiinmaker from day one has been focused on, how do we empower the individual? And I believe that when we find that way to bring forth in each human that divine spark that we each carry, I believe that's how we create heaven on earth, and I believe that's how we create a golden age. And I think that that's the moment that we're in. That's the potential that's here right now. And when you look at the convergence of AI and Web3 technology, the potential of what it can do for humanity, each individual human on this planet can be empowered in a way that we've never seen on this planet to date. So I actually have an exciting announcement to share with you guys today. You guys in the audience are going to be the first people to hear this. No one else, none of the people out there get to hear it. So we actually partnered with XPRIZE to back an initiative called Ocean Guardians. So Ocean Guardians is focused on funding the next great XPRIZE to help finance coral restoration across the world. And we're partnered with them to actually, as the first founding Ocean Guardian. I'm the original, the OG, the first Ocean Guardian. And what's really cool is you'll check out in the video here. Essentially, people across the world are putting money down to support the development of this art installation in the country of Barbados. So the government of Barbados, XPRIZE have partnered to build this amazing art installation. And for those that are willing to donate to either help build the larger installation, or if you want to put down $20,000, you can actually have your own statue that will be there and will actually be part of a living coral reef. So right now we're partnered with XPRIZE to help finance this amazing initiative called Ocean Guardians. So again, I think the most important thing to remember, I think for all of us, is what is the reason that we're here in this space? Are we here to make a bigger impact on the world? Are we here to use technology to empower humanity? Because I think if we do that, then we'll all turn around and feel like our legacy was worthwhile and it meant something. Thank you.
Maybe there are some questions as well.
She wants me to answer questions.
Yes. Please raise your hands.
All right, there's a question there.
Hey, JD. Okay, we can do it this way. Hey, JD. Can you kind of explain the connection between the decentralized compute and the valuation of people in terms of what they're contributing?
So we take a combination of each individual user's decentralized digital identity, which is actually tied to a cryptographic key pair that lives on their either mobile or desktop or laptop device. And that, in our protocol, is actually, that key pair is signing on-chain their own behavior in the background. So they have there's no technical responsibility, no technical expertise required. So as that's happening on-chain, there's a dynamic reputation that's based on their behavior and data that's being recorded and then plugged into those smart contracts that are also plugged into AI models and machine learning. So that's how we're quantifying at scale in a decentralized way. What's the value that each user is contributing in a particular application that's running on our network? So in the case of Raiinmaker app, as the user is generating art and they're actually labeling that art and they're training the stable diffusion models, like right now live there's 75,000 downloads of that app, so there's tens of thousands of users every day that are doing this. As they're actually doing that, we're able to quantify the value of each user inside the ecosystem and the contribution they're making to training the stable diffusion models that everyone in the community is using to generate art. So I think, again, it's about understanding the methodology of how do we understand the contribution of each individual user to training AI, or each human to training AI, rather. And I think that's the big picture, because if we look at AI is literally going to power the economy that we're all stepping into. It's using all of our data. So how are we going to be able to quantify the value that each user is contributing to those AI models? So I think what we've developed with the application is the methodology that we're then rolling out with larger partners like the NFL teams and others that we're working with to quantify the value that each user is contributing to AI. Does that make sense?
Hey, hi, just one question. Is this app right now geographically specific in terms of users, or is it from day one global? I mean, in terms of KYC and everything, yeah.
It's global unless you're in like North Korea.
No. So it's open for US and Europe, right?
Yeah, USA, Europe, Asia. I mean, there's users all over the world. I would say most of our users are non-US, even though US by percentage might be the largest demo, but actually most are not in the US. So Turkey, Nigeria are both big markets. I mean, obviously economies where a small amount of, like if you earn $20 a week in the US, that's not as exciting. If you earn $20 a week in Nigeria or in an emerging economy, that actually has some impact in your life. So I think that's where we're finding the most traction, and that actually gets me the most excited, because for them, they're on the sidelines. The US, we have credit cards, we have Venmo, we have PayPal, we have a lot of avenues to create wealth. I think other parts of the world, I think there's a lot of opportunity to empower people. So that's what actually turns me on. But yeah, globally it's available.
Thank you.
Repeat. I'm curious about the DeepIn validator. Can you tell a little bit about what is running on that? What are you validating? Which projects or which protocols?
So we actually have our own protocol. So the Raiinmaker network protocol, the DeepIn nodes are actually validating. In this case, in the Raiinmaker AI app, it's validating the data that is flowing through the application. So each of the data labels that are being contributed to train AI, all of that data is passed up to the network validator layer. It's then signed, those blocks are signed by validators, and they're notarized onto Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB chain, and also Base. So we're actually leveraging the security and the hash power of other layer 1 blockchains with our validators on the network. And then in terms of like the DPIN part, I mean, again, when you say DPIN, all it is decentralized physical infrastructure network, right? So there's actual validator nodes living on all these devices. The next version of this will actually have that full parallelized, decentralized AI computation. Now, we're not trying to compete with like IONET or these other enterprise GPUs, decentralized enterprise GPUs. To me, that's not necessarily the most interesting use case for this. I'm more interested in what some would call like lightweight DPIN. So I think, again, the data side to me is where I think there's a bigger opportunity, especially when you look at AI and what's the most valuable thing for AI models. I believe that it's really the data that's trained and the quality of that data that's going to play a huge role, and I think there's a big opportunity there. So that's where our DPIN validator nodes are focused going forward, like big picture. Hopefully that answers it. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
I think they're booting me off. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, JD. Actually, your mission sounds really inspiring.